Hello Craft Tip and Buddy. So last week I showed you how to make hearts. This week I'm going to show you how to do the butterfly. Needless to say, I've got butterflies. We're going to work on the same premise as last week, given the fact that I'm doing squares. So that is casting on by 27, which again will be 13 on one side and 14 on the other. 13 of 14, making your 27. We are still going to be working on the 52 lines because again I am making squares. If you're doing it as part of a dress or a garment, then yeah, incorporate this into what you are wearing. Sorry about that, my neighbour's dogs seem to be out. Apologies while I just readjust this camera. There we go. So I'm doing the easy cast on, and as always I'm setting my row counter to 0 to start off. And as for the easy cast on, I'm only doing every other stitch. I'm using pink double knit wool. We are working on a tension free. Again, depending what you're making, use what tension you need to use. Yeah, I'm only showing you a pattern. You can ideally do it on whatever tension you want. There you go. If you're doing the easy cast on, don't forget to wrap the last one, owing to the fact that we have got an odd number of stitches and it will not hold together. Then just add your weights on. Do not forget your weights, and that is row 1 done. Now this pattern we are going to start on row 10. So let's just get to row 10. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm having a little bit of issue with this one. I think this needle needs changing, but let's work around that for now. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. And that is 10 rows. Don't forget you will need your single transfer tool. We are doing it the same way pretty much as we did last week, but obviously it is a wider pattern this time. The reason we are using an odd number of stitches is because we are taking the centre stitch and we are moving it over to the left. And that creates the start of the centre of our butterfly. The start of it. We've still got 6 more stitches to move, people. Don't get too happy and move it on me yet. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 that we are leaving as they are. Moving the next one over. Ignoring that one that we just... So that one's got 2 on. Moving the next stitch over to that one's now got 2 on. Moving the next stitch onto that one, that's got 2 on. And we're just going to repeat those 6 stitches on the other side. So 1, 2, 3. Moving the 4th stitch onto the right one. Moving the next stitch onto the right and the next stitch onto the right, and that'll be our first line of the pattern complete, where we are going to knit 2, 1 because that's the point where we've done the stitch over, and 2 to secure it. Now we're on the second line, so find your middle. We are ignoring that one. and we are taking one stitch either side of it and placing it onto the middle. Now just so we get more define, that goes either side by the way, sorry, just so we get more definition, the butterfly's body will all be moving to the centre and the wings will all be moving to the outside stitches. So this is row 12, we've moved these two. Over here you've got your 1, 2, 3 holes. We are moving the next stitch over 1. We are doing the same on this side. 1, 2, 3, moving the next stitch over 1. And then we've got 2 more stitches that we are moving here. So you've got your 5 in the middle that you've already messed with. We are ignoring this one, moving this one over to the right, left, and moving this one over to the right. And that gives us our second line. I know this seems complicated. There is a graph at the top of my screen that I will be putting up. Haven't put it up yet because I haven't edited, but yeah, it will be up by the time I'm having this conversation with you. So that is row 14. So these are very difficult to explain to do actually. I've actually made this pattern myself, so I hope it works out for you as well as it worked out for me. Let's move that down just so you can see what I'm doing. So we are on row 14, we are going to the last hole that we did here, moving the next one over. Excuse me. This is, butterflies are pretty much symmetrical, that's why I went for this. So if you miss it on one side, you know that I've done the same on the other side. So I should have 2 stitches at the end that I haven't touched. The middle we are going to increase once more for the hole. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, you've got your 3 holes there. We're ignoring this one. We are moving the next one in. 1, 2, 3, moving the next one in. That's not right, that should have been 3 that I've not messed with. My apologies guys, I'm just going to undo that and see where I've gone wrong there. 1, 2. Oh, it is that one. So it's not that one that I picked up, it's this one. It's 3 in the middle that you haven't touched and you're taking them both stitches into the middle. There you go. Sorry guys. You will have the graph up to see it better. So right there I have moved over stitches 3. I've moved 4 to number 3. I've ignored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move the 8 stitch over to 9, which is 0. If that makes sense to any of you. Ignored the middle stitch. Ignored number 2 after the middle stitch. Moved the 3rd middle stitch onto the edge and I've just repeated it on this side, so we've got that. Make sure all your stitches are into play again, otherwise you'll just have a skip stitch. And 2 rows again and we are on row 16. where we are going to repeat the last row. So you're just taking, looking for your gap at the bottom, moving the corresponding stitch to the left. In the center, you are always moving into the center. It will give your butterfly more definition on the body. You'll see what I mean at the end. And you're always taking the wings out. Make sure all your bits are into play. 1, 2, we are on row 18, which again is the same as the last row. So we're going to have 3 skipped stitches. So you're just repeating the last row in this instance. And then you're going to knit 2 rows again. So that is the base of our butterfly. Now we're going to start coming in to show the wings, the first lot of wings at the base. So whereas the last 3 lines we took this stitch, we're now going to take the stitch next to it and place it onto the stitch before. In the middle, again, you are constantly taking them off the same place and moving them inwards. And at the end, you are moving 1 stitch in from where the other one was and putting it on there. Go across for 1. Now here's what I said: if you accidentally have a stitch out of work, it's not a problem to fix it. It's just irritating because obviously you want to keep that hole there, so it's just manoeuvring them around so you get the hole back in place. Okay, row 22, we are going to come back in once more to define the wings. So we are taking this stitch off here and placing it out. We are just literally looking for the last stitch that we made the hole and doing it on the previous, and doing the exact same thing for the center. You can probably recognise this as a butterfly now, hopefully. And go across for 1, 2. On row 24, we are going to come in once more and do the exact same thing as the previous row. So just 1 stitch in on either side. Again, and keeping the body going up at the same time. Now we are on 26, so we want to start coming back out to do the next lot of wings. So that's the bottom half of our butterfly done, people. Now, you can be confident that the centre is still the same, so just as you were, taking off the one. So just so you've got a constant line there, you can see the constant line. Now, because we want to go back out, we are taking this stitch, not that one. So this stitch, and we are placing it out again and doing the same for the other side. And that is row 26, and we are moving on to 28. So 1, 2, 28, we are coming back out again. You'll soon understand that the dots are basically the outer side of the image. So we are on row 28. We have just done our moving our stitches over, so we're just going to knit 2 rows. I do apologise, the doorbell went. And that brings us on to row 30. Row 30, we are going out 1 more, but keeping our body still intact. So looking for your mark underneath and just moving it over 1 more. You will get into a pattern with this. As you can see, I slowly am. Now we've got 1 more row after this of the body, then we're going to start coming in. For the wings, we are literally going to do the same stitches on top of what the previous row was. Keeping the body as it is for now, that changes on the next row. Making sure all your stitches are in place. 1, 2. Now everything comes in and we've got some new bits going out. Here's the fun bit, people. So your first stitch, you are going 1 in. Mirror that on the other side so we know where I am. First stitch goes 1 in. For the centre of the body, we are now coming in to make the head. So instead of going here, we are picking up this one and going in. And we are doing that on the other side as well to give the head definition. But there's 2 more stitches that we need to make because we are at the top of the wings. The stitch on the other side of the body, we are moving that out. And same on this side as well. So moved quite a few stitches there. We moved quite a few stitches. Again, I do have the chart up in the top. I do apologise if I'm moving rather quickly, but I seem to be getting non-stop interruptions today. So we are on row 16. Sorry, row 36. Yes, we are on row 36. So you're taking 1 stitch in again, because we are coming into the top of the wings. 1 stitch in again. On this side, the exact same thing. 1 stitch in to the side. 1 stitch in to the side. And I seem to be having a problem on my middle one. If you do get this problem, just take your time with the machine, fix it, tell it what you need it to do. We're also taking the centre stitch out, and you can either move to the left or the right, it's fully your choice at this point, but that will be the point of the head for our butterfly. There you go, got a butterfly coming up. Now we just need the point of our wings. So you're just moving the 1 stitch from underneath into the centre. So you've got 2 holes being created right there. Then we're going to create the antennae for our butterflies. So all we're going to do is we're going to come back out from where we did the centre. So we've completed our wings. Now it's just the antennae. 1, 2. On both sides, either side of the head, you're just going to keep moving 1 stitch out on each side. One stitch either side out. And once more. Oh, wrong one. And that's our butterfly done. Now I'm doing my squares to 52, so I'm going to continue doing that. And we have our majestic butterfly. I'll see you next week, people, where I'll find something new for us to do, whether it be another one of these that I'll try and describe better, or whether it be crocheting the squares together, although I've already done a video like that. Who knows, it'll be a surprise. See you next week, crafting buddies. Bye.